Hey everybody, welcome to another drive-through rundown. Today I'm just going to do a comparison of the two editions of Star Wars Risk. You've got your normal edition you can see on the left, and then you have your Black Series on the right. And they are substantially different. The cost for the regular edition is about $25 or less. I have seen it for less. On the right, you can get it solely through Amazon at this time for $50. And the covers are pretty much the same. You can see this one here is in color. It's got Kylo Ren on the top, kind of going with their Force Friday branding. Whereas the Black Series has the same exact cover, just kind of stretched, and there's no Kylo Ren. The boxes themselves, you can't really see it on video, but the regular edition is a little bit flimsy or cheaper, whereas the Black Series is a little bit more hefty, a little bit more sturdy. And you can see the Black Series is a little bit thicker than the regular edition. Now if we slide open the cover to the regular series, you can see it's got kind of a flim-flam insert. You just kind of, throw everything in there, it fits in there fine. Whereas with the Black Series, it actually has sort of a flip top, and you can actually pull this open and it's on a hinge. And when we see inside here, you can see a cool little foam insert. And then inside of the lid is nicely sort of embossed, raised logo for Star Wars and Risk. So if you look at them in comparison, you can see which one is the collector's edition and which one isn't. The first thing you'll notice is the rulebooks are different and the covers are different, but looking through the rulebooks, it's the exact same wording. There are some actually updates to the rules. So if you're just getting this for the first time, it's not that the rules are missing, it's just that they're not very clear in a couple of spots. And there is a thread which I'll link here, and I'll kind of mention through the video some of the rules clarifications from actually one of the designers himself, which actually you should play with these 100% because they do go a long ways to balancing the game for the Rebels versus the Empire and so on. So let's take a look at this foam insert here. You can see it's got these nice little slits where you can just easily pop it open, and that will reveal this nice inlay on the inside. Much more smartly packed insert than what comes in the base game. And here we can take a look at the main board as we pop it out. So you can see this is a bifold versus a quad fold in the original game. They are the same size. You will notice that the Death Star on the top is what comes in the regular edition. There's no Death Star depicted on the bottom, but that's because we have a miniature, which I'll show you in a little bit. Now here we can see sort of a close-up of the board for the Black Series. You can see it's kind of reflective and shiny. And actually if you see those little blue borders along the different sectors, those are slightly raised. So all of the pieces in here have a sort of a 3D texture feel to them, as well as being embossed and shiny. Now you can't really tell the thickness difference too much on this main centerpiece, but if we move over here to one of the wing pieces on the board, you can see there is a noticeable difference in thickness. And if we zoom in really close here, you can see the hinge is a little bit finer, a little bit nicer on this one. This is from the Black Series compared to the sort of double hinged sort of thing. It's a little bit cheaper and looking, and it causes a nice little divot in the board, whereas the Black Series doesn't have that. Now here we can see the Rebel fleet markers. On the top row is the original edition. You can see those are a little bit wider and they have a wider joint, whereas the bottom row is from the Black Series. Now the Black Series also is noticeably thicker in this case, but it's hard to get a photo of. And then now we have the cards, and if we take a look here on the left, we see the Rebel cards. On the right are the Empire cards. And here we can see two Rebel cards. And you can't really tell the difference here on the front side, but the cards themselves are also embossed and shiny. And the card stock itself is noticeably thicker. I wouldn't say a whole ton thicker, but it's definitely not as flimsy as the original, which was very flimsy. Now here we can see the Empire cards. And here you can actually, I think in this picture, see a little bit more of the embossed, raised shininess of these cards. And again, this is very difficult to take a picture of, but you can maybe see it here on the back of the card. And next thing to compare would be the dice. Here's the original dice, basic dice, versus the translucent dice in the Black Series. And moving on, you have the tokens here, and you have the original on the left and the Black Series on the right, which has a little bit of flash. I didn't notice that. I'll get rid of that in a minute. But you can kind of see the one on the right is a little bit shinier, but these are pretty much the same. They are definitely thicker in the Black Series. And next we have the Stormtrooper tokens. Well, the original is just a token. But moving along here to the Black Series, you can see it's actually a little miniature. These are pretty thin. They're not the greatest miniatures at all, but it's definitely a step up from the token. And I will show you the miniatures from the different spaceships in the game. These are all from the Black Series, but they are identical from everything I can tell to the original. So here's the TIE fighters, and you got the X-Wing and the Y-Wing and the B-Wing. And moving on to the good stuff, we have the Executor, whatever that thing's called, and the Millennium Falcon. These are from the base game, obviously, tokens. And now we move into the main sort of feature of the Black Series, these 3 miniatures, which pretty much look like, as far as I can tell, the Micro Machine miniatures. And first you have the Devastator, or Executor I think it's called. Looks pretty cool. And then you have the golden Millennium Falcon, which is interesting. And next you have the Death Star, and you can see we can rotate this around, and you can see the backside of it. It's still under construction. And that's pretty much it. I definitely do recommend the game. I know I forgot to cover some of the rules differences, but definitely check the link in the description, and you will see 9 rules on that link to clarify and make the game more fun. Okay, thanks.